The annual Cooper River Bridge Run is back for another exciting year on Saturday, April 6th. I talk one-on-one with Executive Director Irv Batten about what's new this year for the Bridge Run for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Irv Batten, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you. And I always enjoy it, Quintin.
Oh, I appreciate it greatly. Needless to say, for the viewers, you are the Executive Director of the Cooper River Bridge Run. And I know this year you all are celebrating the 47th annual of Bridge Run. So, as we sit here right now, Irv, what's new, what's now with the Cooper River Bridge Run?
Can you believe it's been 47 years?
I've been doing it on and off since 2000, and you've been doing it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy how it's grown, and we made it through this the pandemic, doing really well. Our numbers are increasing. Very, very proud of the fact that all through this whole time we've been able to keep our ranking as the third largest 10K in the United States. And then I found out the other day that they do the rankings from last year's results, and we're the 10th largest race in the United States.
Wow!
So that's really cool. That goes up against like the Boston Marathon, the Chicago Marathon, the New York City Marathon, and of course Peachtree and all that. So we're doing pretty good. It's going off, doing really well. So
wow, that is good to hear. And I know that's been consistent over the past 20 years or so, and as long as I've been doing the Bridge Run. So that's good news. But let me ask you this: you talk about growing. Where exactly did the Bridge Run grow last year, for instance?
So, coming out of that pandemic, everybody's numbers were really, really small. And, we did a very good increase from 2 years ago to last year. Last year we had almost 28,000 people, 27,800 people registered, which is great, coming out. It takes several years to build back up. This year we're 2,300 ahead of last year at this time. So, the goal is to, of course, get bigger than last year. So that number would be trying to get over 30,000. And then, hopefully get back up to that 40,000 number in a year or so. So we'll see.
And what resources, Irv, are you using now to get the Bridge Run back to where it needs to be now that we're past the pandemic?
Yeah, so we doing really well with our marketing, and of course, that changes year to year, day to day. Everything is all like digital and social media typed and all, and we still do our big emails with hundreds of thousands of past participants. But no, we're broadening things out, and we're getting a little bit wider reach. Of course, we always have participants from every state in the United States, and like about 10 or 11 different countries. And we're still on track for that. So, people love coming back.
Yes.
We've got some huge return rate of people. They might not come back every year, but they'll come back. They might take a year off and then do it for 2 years and take a year off. But we have so many repeat participants. That just is a sign that we're doing a very good job of making people happy and doing a good job of putting on a great event. Yeah. So we're just excited about that. And one other thing that we're doing is we haven't done an economic impact study in about 7 years. Because we did one a little bit before the pandemic, but we didn't do one, through that and coming out of the pandemic. So this year we're going to do an economic impact study and see what our numbers will be through that. Before the pandemic, it was a $33 million or $34 million economic impact over a weekend in Charleston, which is just amazing. So we're looking forward to see what that number is now, because I really think we're going to have a really huge number compared to that. So we're excited about that. That's something that I just can't wait for those results to come in. And that'll be after the race. So,
wow, that's amazing. I know, obviously, see, we had a big year this past February. Obviously, have you been able to look at those numbers and try to see where you all could be potentially?
Potentially. And the other thing is that that's a different clientele.
Yeah,
You can't really. I mean, you compare those numbers a little bit, but that's
yeah.
the totally different clientele. And I might be wrong on some of that, but it's a lot of local people, but it's different than the run. So we'll see.
We'll see. And I know earlier, Irv, you talked about obviously a lot of people registering for the bridge run last year. So how many people actually finished or completed the bridge run last year?
We had a little over 22,000.
Okay,
yeah, finished. Yeah, out of the 27,
right.
Over 27,000 registered. So
yeah, I remember you mentioning that. I'm sorry about that. But let me ask you this: speaking of last year, what are some of those things that you all did in 2023 that you will keep in place for this year's race?
There's so many different things. I mean, you tweak every year. You try to tweak things. The expo was awesome last year. We've had so many people make comments about how great our expo is compared to other expos around, at other races. So we're not really changing too much of that because it's been super successful. We're going to tweak it here and there, kind of move a little bit things around, trying to squeeze a couple more vendors in there. So that's really an awesome thing. And then of course the race. I mean, there's only so much you could do. You got to keep it, keep a little bit new things coming on, but you don't want to change too much because you got a good thing going. And like I said, people love coming back. And I mean, where else can you get on that bridge and see that beautiful city? It's incredible. I said, how is this compared to other races? I said, well, other races don't have the city of Charleston, the town of Mount Pleasant, just the awesome scenery, and even North Charleston. All three municipalities do an incredible job of supporting the race and making it what it is today. And we wouldn't be able to do it without those three municipalities and all their support. And we're just so happy that this race brings so much back to the community. That and one other thing I wanted to add too is we added 4 new charities this year to the race. So we have 14 charities now. The new charities are Water Missions, the Green Heart Project, Camp Rise Above, and the Carolina Children's Charity.
Sure.
So those are 4 new ones that we've added, and people have the opportunity, and they are during registration, to sponsor or to raise money for those charities. All 14 of them, and it's something else that that we give back because all those charities are local charities, and it's more money that's given back to the local community because we give it to those charities. So it's very exciting. Every year it's like, what's new? Well, there's a lot of stuff that are new, but it's a lot of stuff that's the same, but it's also exciting because it's so much that is put into this this whole weekend that you just can't. There's so much. It's hard to say what's going on and all, but everybody loves it, and we love putting it on. It's everybody on the staff. It's a passion of each and every one of us to do it. So yeah, we love it.
And Irv, I want to talk to you more about that in a second. But and we all know that obviously the Carolina Children's Charity is a staple here in the Low Country, along with those other ones. But let me ask you: you say that you want to add more vendors. How many vendors do you have now for the expo?
We have about 200.
Wow!
I think we are the largest event. We take all 3 rooms at the convention center, and we might have to put some vendors out in the hallway. Depends on how we could squeeze things in. But no, it's if you hadn't been to the expo, you're missing out because there's so much stuff. People can stay there you could walk through that thing and go, oh, I didn't even see that earlier. And there's always something, and there's so many cool new products out there and all different companies. So it's an amazing event there too, just by itself.
So, wow.
You know,
And obviously, when we do come to the expo, we come and pick up our packets and T-shirts and whatnot. So let me ask you, how many packets have been mailed out so far for the 2024 race?
well, we haven't mailed any yet. Those should be done this weekend. We'll mail out about 5,000 packets, hopefully by Friday or Monday. And so those will be out, and then we'll have the rest of them at the expo to pick up.
Wow. Now, what were the number of early applicants by, say, early January?
What was that?
Yeah, what were the numbers of early applicants, that is, prior to January or early January, by early January?
Right now, as of today, we've got almost 25,000 people registered. So that, I mean, we're, like I said, we've been almost the whole time we've been between 22 and 2,300 ahead of last year's count, because we'll look at each month how we're doing, and if it keeps on going, we're going to be really happy.
Yeah, and I know you told me to pass here on Quintin's close-ups that more people register when the price increases. So how many people have signed up after the increase that happened recently?
Oh, it's hard to say. I hadn't even looked at those numbers, Quintin. Probably we're getting about 800 or so a day, right around the price increase. So,
geez. And I know you also told me too, Irv, in the past, that the registration sometimes fizzle. When did that happen this past year?
Well, it goes in waves. It's like a little roller coaster. Me personally, I'd sign up when it was $45, but but some people like to wait, and then some people they wait until the expo. We'll have a lot of people sign up Thursday and Friday at the expo, and they wait to see if the weather or, oh, you know what, let's do this race, and they'll get 2 or 3 of their friends to come, and they'll all go sign up at the expo. So, no, we're not going to turn anybody away. We want you decide today to sign up. If you decide on Friday, the day before the race, come on into the expo and sign up. We're not going to turn anybody away.
That's amazing. I remember a couple of years ago, back in the in the early 2000s, I signed up at the last minute on a Friday at the Gilliard Auditorium. But you talked earlier, obviously, about Seaweed and how most of those people are locals. How many locals so far have signed up for the Bridge Run?
We've got probably about 59% of the people that have signed up are from South Carolina.
Wow.
Out of that number, about 55% are local, like in the Tri-County area.
Wow. And, obviously things come up a lot, prior to the Bridge Run and on the Bridge Run day. So how many people who actually deferred from the 2023 race are actually signed up for this year's race?
That's another question. You should have given me those questions beforehand. I'd have all your numbers. I'm not sure how many deferred from last year. It's not that many. We might get a couple hundred or so that defer. Like we've had a couple people that got injured or something and deferring to next year that signed up this year. But it's not too many.
It's not too many. And I know,
but it's nice that we added that little twist. If something does happen, that you have that option. So,
and I know an option that you really don't like, but it happened during the pandemic, and obviously you couldn't do anything about it. But will you ever consider having a virtual option for the Bridge Run one day?
I keep on
and still have the
live, because some races have kept that option. I don't know. I mean, I go back and forth on that, Quintin. We have not kept it. If I get a lot of people in our survey at the expo that say, "Hey, would you consider adding a virtual option?" Then, if I have a lot of people that want to do that, I'll consider that. I'll consider adding that.
And what else can we expect from this year's Bridge Run when we get there to the starting line and to the expo, and after the finish, line?
Yeah. So we're going to have Liquid Pleasure is our live band. They are a national group, and I think everyone's going to love it. So the Finish Festival is going to be very, very active, a lot of great music and interaction with the crowd. So I think that's going to be awesome. I talked to our elite coordinator. We have a very good field of foreign athletes. Hopefully, we're going to get some more American athletes. It is an Olympic year, so a lot of it's hard to get certain people during the Olympic year. But hopefully, we'll have a great field with a lot of good Americans too.
Yes.
But we also have the world class wheelchair event is starting to form. So we got a pretty good field there. Hopefully, we'll keep on adding a couple more.
Yes.
So no, there's so much going on. Don't forget, we have a costume contest. So there are a lot of people that dress up in costumes, and at the stage after the race, after they do the awards for the overall, they'll have all the costume people come up, and we'll let the crowd cheer on, and we'll have a couple judges, and we'll give out a costume contest. And if you haven't seen those before, you need to come see those because they are amazing. Just people are so creative of some of the things they come up with.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that too because I'll be at the awards area, and I can't believe some of the designs, the costumes people come up with. It's just like, wow, how long did they take them to figure this out and do this? Because, I mean, it's really cool, some of those costumes. So we got elite world-class runners. We got very fast regional runners. We got people that are just walking. We got the costume contest. We got the Racers for Pacers group. I mean, it's just, there's so much in the starting area. It's crazy. It's so widespread of all the different types of people that come and do this event. So
and two more questions for you, Irv. So how many walkers have signed up already?
Yeah, I don't know that question either. It's probably about 6,000 or so. 5,000.
5,000. And they'll be starting behind us, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
They'll start in the last few corrals.
Okay, cool. And how many more wheelchair people do you need? Oh, great. I'm sorry.
We have a wheelchair coordinator. She's working on that. Well, hopefully we'll have about 10 or 11 wheelchair racers. One thing that we have added that I forgot to mention is that we have a couple of new parking areas for those individuals because transportation is so difficult to, with the buses. We're one of the only events that have free buses. And so, but it's still difficult to transport all these people, from the start or from the finish to the start to back and forth. So we've added a couple options where you could park at the Shriners lot in Mount Pleasant near the bridge and the hotel right there by the base of the bridge. The parking is going to be $5. You could walk to the start, run the race, and then you could take the boat shuttle back to your to Patriots Point and walk back up the street to where your car's at. So that's going to alleviate some of the buses. So those are some other options. We also added some people. The Uber-Lyft is so growing and so popular now. People like to Uber and do the Lyft thing. Yeah. So we're going to have like Uber-Lyft locations where people get dropped off before the race, and then after the race go to the Uber-Lyft to get picked up, away from the crowd, away from where the buses are, to alleviate some of that congestion. So there's always something new that we're adding and trying to do. So sometimes it's hard to remember all of them, Quintin. There's so much going on.
I know for sure since I've moved from the peninsula to where I live now, I'm actually going to have to take Uber and Lyft down to the convention center. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah. So you could Uber at the start, you can Uber to the Harris Teeter on Houston Northcutt, walk to the start, and then when you finish, you walk over to by the aquarium and stuff at Gadsden Park.
Yes,
and at the far end of Gadsden Park is going to be the Uber-Lyft pickup area, so you get picked up and taken back home.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
There you go.
Yes. Well, and for more information, you just go to bridgerun.com. But for now, I know you're busy, but thank you so much for taking time to do an interview with me. But Irv Batten with the Cooper River Bridge Run, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
And thank you, Quintin. And I'm looking forward to seeing a PR this year at the Bridge Run from you.
Yes, sir. So right now in my head, I'm thinking 46, 47.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll be looking. I'll be looking at the results.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll be there.
All right. Good talking to you.
Likewise.